wonder what torture their owner is going through. Is it like ours? I suppose so.
Sana jalan aku kok.
I think we going to A.
Affirmative. Hello.
One down.
Astaga.
One enemy remaining.
Ya, crack anjing di dalam tuh
Evan.
ngetot.
My lives are so meaningless. Marcus will give, thank you.
Affirmative.
Two people on my kira mundur ya.
We go again, bro.
Let's go.
Affirmative. Shutting them down. Enemy support grenade.
Sorry, again.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
One enemy remaining. Flawless.
So embarrassing. Reloading.
I love war.
Phoenix hit. Ah, besok harus Melayu guys. Tempat tuh kan.
Hello. Thank you. I'll show you scary moments. Stay down.
One enemy remaining.
Blocking sight. Damn right we're crushing it.
Aduh. Itu main cat. Itu nge-troll parah.
Low, man. Very low, man.
Planted spike.
Planted.
There. Careful here. One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
Nasiku, kariku tak masuk.
Masih di atas.
Shit.
Belakangmu.
Dapat. Akhirnya dia balik ke spot. Aku mau meledak.
We got this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Impressive.
Solid work. Clear to engage.
Aduh,
Spike down A.
gua mulai jongkok. Nah, besok gua ketemu ada kali.
Healing. I got the spike.
Nice.
Astaga, gua kira udah aman loh di situ.
Rest. I have the spike. Your duty is not over.
Backshot.
One enemy remaining.
Close.
Last player standing.
These things they know they can't begin to comprehend it. Kill all your opponents.
Get out of my way.
Coba sabit.
Block the sight.
Ada lo apa? Oh, jadi.
Here.
One enemy remaining.
Nakal berisik.
Shutting them down.
Ada dia.
Ada.
Ranen kan dia. Anjir. Armor gua hancur.
We go.
Suppress it. Do a suppress.
Spike drop. On my way.
Our spike carrier is killed. Spike down mid.
UM gua. Baik.
Astaga, ada jet di situ ternyata.
Gua pecek.
JT.
Here.
Last player standing.
Loh.
Ambil OP aja. Dia nggak bakalan di situ, dia pasti ke garage.
Flash. Grenade.
Ya kurang jauh.
Kurang jauh. Apa mati dia. Tinggal bom.
Together, we will bury them under their transgression.
Dicabut sih. Hah?
Loaded.
Enemy spotted. Reload.
Cover going out. They're suppressed. Shadows traveling. Our barrier is in sight.
Spike
nawang.
down C.
Oke.
Apakah kalian berperang, guys?
Rena gerana.
Nah, sana.
Bot garage.
Last player standing.
Aduh.
Reloading.
Ini bro.
No prisoners. Reloading.
Deployed. Enemy suppressed. System failure.
Spike down A. Last player standing.
Last OP. Di atas.
One enemy remaining.
Di gua ada tuh.
I got the spike.
30 seconds left.
Spike planted.
Kaget gua anjing. Kaget gua, Cuk.
Dia dari mana anjir? Oh, dia dari Dia dari Heaven tapi nggak kedengar gitu.
Iya.
I will fulfill my purpose.
Kita nggak dengar, Renanya dengar anjir. Rena kita. Dia ngapain di belakang tadi? Tapi gua kira kayak salah pindah.
Terus mati ini.
There's a punch.
Enemy spotted C.
Cover go. Stealing sight.
Lalu tinggal kami.
Lil.
Blocking sight.
Enemy suppressed.
Ono connector ya? Wong sendiri di mana nih?
Okay, we know the drill. Stick to
Yeah.
your walls and we'll crush it.
Wong loro cuk.
Gun here.
Kontol. Perlu di mana?
Spike down A. One enemy remaining.
Astaga, gua bau banget.
Whip,
Abis main Apex.
parah.
Abis main Apex.
You will not kill my allies.
Abis main Apex mainnya Hitfire.
Last player standing.
Aduh. Aduh.
Light planted.
Masuk kill dia.
One enemy remaining.
Well,
Nice.
I am not circular.
Belum gua.
Last round before the switch. Need a drop.
Thank you.
Reload.
Get out of my way.
Enemy spotted.
Barrier created. Your duty is not over.
Reloading.
Your fault.
Going here.
Dia ngapain keluar kayak gitu?
Spike down mid.
Wow.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
I got the spike.
30 seconds left.
95 bang. Masa di reload.
Spike planted.
Moncongnya kelihatan itu senjata.
Mana ngomong nih gini?
Dari spawn kayaknya dia. Iya.
Blocking sight.
Switching sides.
You were the win. So powerful. Well done.
Di atas ya. Ya. Ngapain gua ulti ngentot?
Minta tuh dia.
Dia nggak mau. Nggak.
Serip lo apa?
Gua udah ada itu river, ngapain?
Ya Allah.
Kecuali dia gua request dia minta.
Mana? Soal.
Coba anak jercuk. Ayo masuk. Hah?
Astaga.
Last player standing.
Aduh, gua salah. Kenapa gua mau nyubur?
I'll shut them down. Until then, survive.
Keep up.
Mid.
See.
Yes, sih.
One enemy remaining. Spike down. C. Reload.
Spike is safe. Line them to strike.
Dia terlalu suka share. Reaper.
Menglapar.
Masa mesen apa?
Cuma ngomong lapar doang.
Mesen makan nggak?
Enggak kayaknya.
Astaga. Si.
Last player standing.
Wah.
Spike planted.
KO. Oh ya, kita mirror pick ya.
Numbers, anything can still happen.
Iya.
Remember that.
Ayo, gue baru lihat.
Iya, gue juga baru ngeh. Aduh, jatuh lagi anjir.
Gue pindah, orangnya di sana. Salah dia suka ngepik.
One enemy remaining. Spike down A. Match point.
Usher them towards their eternal rest.
Oh,
Ground. You will
Gua
not
duga gua
kill
nangkep
my allies. Here. Who?
One enemy remaining. Spike down C. Defenders win.
promosi dulu. Main sekali, capek.
Udah mulai belum? Rejapik, 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 Rejapik. Rejapik.
Capek.
Ah,
Is the surgeon optic bit yet? No.
Cok, sakit banget langsung headshot.
If
Gak masuk akal sih.
which I should.
Oh enggak,
kenapa?
mau ke bawah enggak?
Bawah ngapain?
Rame tuh, rame.
Ya udah yuk.
Yuk.
Halo adik-adik.
Thank you.
Di cabut.
Masuk ada lu katanya gak?
Ah, cukup tahu.
Katanya si Eji emang Eji parah banget.
Parah emang Eji.
Aku namburin madu.
Kayaknya Eji sama Egi gak suka lu. Gak canda-canda gak?
Beneran nih gak apa-apa kan?
Parah.
Yeje habis kompe tadi. Yeje habis kompe.
Janji nggak nangis ya adik-adik.
Jadi gak nangis.
Gua buka main gua.
Ini habis. Ketemu teammate gue. Let's go.
Turun. Yo, let's go. Kita, let's go.
Dilon pakai T.
Ini apa nih?
Tahun dek.
Dilon.
Kenapa dek?
Taruh.
Nama gua Langka dek.
Masih.
Nggak pasaran dek.
Nama gue juga langka.
Apa?
Ih, tanya Ari.
Asir wadah niroga nirpataka neraka.
Pala lu ijo.
Mama kau hijau dah.
Golik tapi mute.
Apa sih Lik?
Bang,
Apaan?
nggak ada bang, masuk aja bang, emang nggak boleh bang.
Dih. Iya.
Gue cari duit. Dadah,
Paning.
selamat bermain.
Itu siapa sih?
Gua nggak main anjing.
Itu siapa sih?
Gue pengen tidur.
Rekor dek 3 hari nggak main dek.
Dek rekor dek, sebulan nggak ada
Nggak
main
main
dek.
sama sekali dek.
Dek,
Sebulan dek, belum main dek.
Bagus teruskan.
dek.
Sini.
Dek.
Dek alert.
Dik.
Ini ngapain?
Dek atau sak dik.
Dik.
Aku sih prefer sak dik ya.
Open it. Dek itu dari honornya dulu.
Butuh makan deh gue. Biar langsung tidur. Apa ya?
Ini pro ini omen.
Makanan yang ada minumannya.
Makanan yang diminum. Bakso.
Paket nasi ijo ayam geprek ayam ijo.
Ayam geprek juga enak. Ikan bakar.
Paketnya cabai ijo. Tapi ada minuman manis-manisnya nih.
What?
Jamur geprek. What the heck?
Geprek.
Gan.
Ah,
Gan.
apa?
Pakai meja apa? IKEA enggak?
Enggak. DIY. DIY.
Kiri.
Nggak tahu gua kasih duit ke bokap gua GOPAY.
GOPAY 500.
Iya.
Luas doang.
Iya. Nggak tahu lebih. Bagus sih Koko, soalnya kan temen bokap gua kan ada tuh yang tukang
Warna
las
apa
itu.
putih?
Ya warna putih. Itu triplek yang tebel gitu sih.
Di DIY.
Iya dia.
Meja baru.
DIY nggak tahu beli di mana itu bokap gua pokoknya ngasih duit aja. Ukuran segini gini udah.
Gue sebenarnya masih kuat sih tapi nggak bisa pakai buat stand, ngerti kan?
Oh. Lu nggak kuat karena apa, daun mejanya atau ininya kakinya?
Kan kalau meja kan gue bilang meja lu enak kan, kayak meja tipis kan, jadi bisa buat sanggaan buat standnya tau kan, yang harus naro.
Oh iya, stand monitor. Stand monitor.
Ya, nah, kalau gue nggak bisa, itu kayak meja apa ya, meja kantor anjing. Ini mejanya lebih tua dari gue, tai.
Ulang tahunnya berapa kali?
Kayak meja kayu jati anjing ini.
Bagus itu kayak jati, Cok.
tapi nggak mau ganti.
Ya sudah.
Kalau bisa custom kayu jati mah gaskan aja.
Lu daerah mana emang?
Ntar lah gue mau pas di Bogor Jakarta ya mau ganti. Gue kan masih di Bandung.
Di Bandung mah ini gua ada kenalan tuh yang ngebuat mejanya Lutfi Halimawan.
Sumpah.
Sumpah. Kan gue nanya kan ke bininya si Lutfi. Itu
Mana?
iya gue DM. Ada lo tanya aja nih IG-nya apa ya? Lupa gue bentar.
Nggak berani, takut gue dibalas aja.
Tanya aja. Apa ya nama IG-nya lupa gue. Gue nanya-nanya dulu sih kemana.
Biar enak gue mainnya. Nggak sih, gue pengen setup lebih bersih ya.
Iya, paham. Oh, ini namanya Aldia Diansyah.
Bentar lah. Kalau nggak IKEA deh, dan paling enak.
IKEA
Mahal tapi anjing.
mahal, cuk. Mendingan lu custom. Bisa lu custom buat apa? Kabel manajemen lu di bawah itu. Di bawah slot, iya, pas.
Gue berantakan kabel manajemen bodo amat lah.
Gue juga niatnya mau ini lagi, meja lagi, cuman kan gue pengen mau ganti VGA, cuk.
VGA sih udah cukup sih. Ini meja. Anjing.
Meja anjing itu gimana dah?
Nggak bisa taruh ini tuh kayak tebel banget. Apa sih kayak ke kantor lah, kayak ke kantor kan. Banyak bawahnya tuh ada laci gitu kan.
Setahu
Tapi nggak
3
keganggu sih,
ribu.
nggak keganggu, tapi yang monitor apa keganggu bawahnya nih, ganggu banget kan. Gak enak. Lihat.
Ismail pisan anjing. Nggak jadi.
Sabar dulu nonton. Kemana sih?
Ayam bakar enak lah, apa anjing? Reporci.
Sahur.
Maso mau makan apa enggak, Maso?
Satu main gak hari ini.
Nanti subuh-subuh tiba-tiba mesen McD.
McD gas.
5 km anjing. Kok cerita raya sih anjing?
Agak tidur lu. Konten lu, sosmed. Tidur.
Oh alah, lokasinya bukan di kantor gua anjing. Pantesan. Apa anjing? Ya gua makan dulu, Cok, biar gua nggak lupa sahur.
Sahura.
Nah, gelap-gelap gini nih si kampret.
Oh jangan dia.
Gue sebelum makan apa ya anjing? Ayam geprek cabe hijau. Cabe hijau. And then
Armornya terlalu banyak anjing.
Fruity ST. Oh iya. Duh, habis lagi anjing. Kulit gorengnya. Oh, jamur geprek masih ada nih. Welcome to my ST. Check out. Ini kirim kemana nih? Oh iya, kayak tower bener. 22.000. Mari kita makan. Pesan makan. Udah cabut. Iya.
The game like Valorant cannot
Ini dia udah mulai.
that is your win condition. It's been rough for NIP on their attacks recently.
I'm not sure what that means, but look, you're right about one thing. Got my hair done for him as well.
They made you take the suit off. Like you were in a full tux. Like you had a bouquet of roses.
Kita lihat Hiko dulu, Hiko. Oke. Kalau udah sampai tolong telepon. Oke, Fanatik lawan Nip. Ninjain pijamas. Pijamas.
Options that you kind of bring in for him, and there's a good reason for that. He's incredibly aggressive. He's going to disrespect all of your utility, get it basically up in your face. Now, I will say John will do exactly the same thing, but in recent form, more importantly on this map, they had trouble. And that was one of the things I was really worried about coming into this, because you
next bundle apa sih, penasaran gue.
Obviously it's the other Brazilian team we've got in this tournament, the one that I think a lot of people have a lot more faith in. Well, the last 2 times they played this map versus them, they only got 4 rounds. And he got 4 kills.
Gua tempel ke yang
I
kepalanya
think there was a
botak.
definite need for him to at least change his role, putting John onto the jet. That's his comfort zone. That's where he's playing that more aggressive style in your face, and that's something I think the Fnatic are actually going to struggle with, having 2 standards. Is the fact that they're not going to be like coming up with all these niche, crazy little strategies. They're going to run at you, and they're going to try and shoot you in the face.
And that's exactly the problem, right? Now, we need to answer a question, and I guess we can't answer that. Only Fnatic can. Do they have the protocols in the 8 days or 9 days at this point of practice that they've had with this 5-man? Do they have those protocols set that they can now defeat a team like NIP if they go for that strategy, the tried and tested run and gun? Well, we're going to start it out here in round number 1, finally getting underway. NIP will be on the defensive side of Fnatic's map choice of Ascent.
Ready. Like you can see, they've pushed B main straight off the bat. They've pushed.
Oh, Derke nggak main, Cuk.
Knife down mid to just try and catch anybody over towards tile.
Kagak main, Cuk, Derke.
They're not doing it in, I guess, the most standard.
Kok di-ban sih?
One piece of map control. They're trying to take it all.
Ya, tapi kan dia berangkat ke Iceland di Twitter dia.
Which would prompt an immediate reaction on the other extremity of the map where they would go swinging through. But Fnatic, well, they're sort of waiting for that. They were holding the default, watching for any aggression, but there's 55 seconds left, and eventually you've got to make a move on the attack. So they're going to move in towards the B site, but the rotates are through. NIP have got Shanji already ready behind the spawn, but he's going to be naded out. Now the players in Boathouse are isolated. Shanji able to find one through the smoke, and the kills are going to NIP for a little bit. They have absolutely no idea that Cowanzi was there until the turret saw him, and he's gone. This is starting to go Fnatic's way.
Yeah, and the remaining 2 players don't really have the positioning to try and break back through. It's awkward for Bosa though. He gets stuck in the mud, leaving it down into a 2v2 after plant. Both players to the back of site, and there's actually still a paranoia here for the defenders as they look to try and get back in.
Oh, that could be such a huge problem. At least if they're holding the doorway, they can maybe force those close range angles. But NIP used the paranoia just to get through onto the site to break through those choke points. And now they'll look to duel. A shock dart out. Magnum's down. And that is a quick double for Bezany, leaving it into NIP's hands.
NIP.
Yeah, and I think they are definitely a team that is going to be very important. They go for a solid start.
NIP Ninja in PGMS.
Blast other rosters just by getting those superstar players rolling, and there is a reason they have someone like John around it, even though he has those sort of sketchier performances, is because when he has a good performance, you're screwed. And that's genuinely the case. The weird thing as well about this roster, which I think we were sort of talking about in the green room, is the fact that KHUSUS is the young 16-year-old, and he's playing Sova. And the two older, experienced players, in most cases, are playing like Jet Raider, Jet Raids. It's like, it definitely seems a little bit backwards, but it also means that in terms of how you're going to play the game, they're going in with no fear. They've been here a million times before. It's not those like land jitters or anything like that.
Nasty little strap from Fnatic trying to come in with the wall bangs out of the Sheriff to start things off. You know, it's interesting you say that, though, about NIP having those older players on the duelist. I just imagine Angel sat here watching it from afar and just smiling, thinking there's a problem with that. Like, what are you trying to say, Tom, huh? Well, look, realistically for Fnatic, a couple of pistols invested into. They want to try to grab a few kills, but
he didn't break the drone.
NIP should be able to get away with this one pretty easily, avoid losing too many players. And like they're giving up a decent bit of control. You know, Bezany just there, he spotted a few players. He doesn't want to swing in all too actively. They've put a smoke down now as well to retake that control and try to stop Fnatic from really getting in. This is nicely handled so far. A cautious round from NIP and a much needed one as well. Lost the one player and 40 HP on site. This could get a little scary.
KHUSUS low. Will eventually get isolated. Feron's found another. This is already a successful round for Fnatic, taking down 3 players and now leaving Mystic in a clutch. Now I'll tell you, there's not many more players on this squad you want, but Zhangji quick enough on that wraparound will grant NIP a second. Now it's nowhere near as clean as they would have liked, and now Mitch, the question is, do you fully invest back into this one?
I mean, it's a tough choice, right? You've got 3 players who need to invest, but I did notice that a bunch of the NIP players had pistols to play with, like Ghost and stuff left over from the previous, so maybe those can be dropped over to make it not that terrible of a buy. Obviously, John isn't close enough to his ultimate to really get anything to help them out here, so you have a choice. Full buy or do what they're doing now, and I like this idea. Like, give up the 3rd round, potentially. They just want to do as much damage as they can.
Oh wow, an early flash straight off the bat is exactly what we're talking about. The Hun hasn't even had a chance to catch up with everything because half the players are already dead.
Haudenya anjir gangguin.
2 kills with the frenzy from there. The flash almost grants another one for Bezany as well, but it's still going to be back into that 3v3 scenario. Now, just as in the last round, Mitch, too much damage here is already somewhat of a loss for Fnatic.
Yeah, it's 2 rifles, right? Fnatic didn't come in here with any sort of Spectres or anything like that. This is their full buy round to already lose 2 players and NIP to have 3 remaining, you know, even footing. This is perfect. Now, the one downside for the NIP side is that they are set up on A. They've got all their utility there. Killjoy, they've got their players mostly playing around that area, and by the looks of it, I mean, Fnatic's spike was outside B. It had been dropped there. They went back and got it, but they haven't yet decided to go towards that B site. And depending on what they choose in the next couple of seconds, and Tom, they're starting to choose to go towards the A site. This could play perfectly into NIP's hands.
No rotation. I like this from NIP, just almost gambling. Now the smoke going through into mid could be the fake that they need, but because the drone's gone through elsewhere, already 1 player being spotted. On the other side, they're going to have to try and clear some of these closer angles. The paranoia leaves them completely blind. The swing comes through, but the trades are so good. Zhangji coming up with a couple, and now it's left. He can't quite close it. NIP off to a flyer of a start, 3-0 up, and they get themselves a free rifle.
That's an absolute tragedy to start out the attack side like this for Fnatic. I mean, NIP are going to be farming cash off the back of that. Just think back a couple of minutes. We saw them come in with 3 pistols. This was a super light buy.
He's also low. Just both players tagged.
And we're already seeing an investment coming out of NIP into an Odin as well. That's round 4 Odin buy. I can get behind that, Tom. I'm starting to really like the look of this NIP team, at least for now. Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay. I saw 3 players on NIP without guns. It's like, are you crazy? Just want to win it without spending any money, but no, just this little glitch, little bug, it happens. Again though, all you really have in this round is a few pistols and Magnum investing into a Spectre, no ultimate. Well, actually they've got the Hunter's Fury, but how are they going to utilize that to actually win a round? I don't know.
But those steps are being heard as well. You got John right up next to the smoke. He made the right call. John's backing off immediately. I love it. Doesn't overcommit. Doesn't take any silly plays. We've seen teams do it far too often. This time on the back of the flash. Shanji. Okay, how he's gotten away with that much. That flash obviously saved him. Came to Hyper not being able to see him. That's 4-0 flawlessly.
Yeah, Prime Gaming flawless coming through for NIP in the 4th round, and I'm like this is one of the things that will always frustrate me. That you see the sort of a player with experience, like Janji coming from CS:GO, someone who's been around in the scene in esports for a very long time, always playing this duelist, and then he switches over to something else. You're like, this looks really good. Why were you not doing this before? But yeah, I definitely don't think he should have got away with 3 kills, but. He's going to take it. Already online, and Fnatic already having to take 4.
I mean, that's Shanji going back to his roots, though, right? This guy played CS for how many years? And you put him on a KO, he's able to left-click a flash through, or right-click the flash through, right? Initiate for himself.
Yeah.
And you see how comfortable he looks doing that. That triple kill was perfectly handled. Now, the problem sits in Fnatic's hands. They're going to invest into this round. They're going to have ultimates coming online, and this is really where they want to take a moment, take a breather in this timeout.
Now I know it's paused.
Yeah, they can't see it on the screen, but that's how Magnum picked that up.
He could, in theory, just sell it.
No, I'll tell you why he's done that. It's the same as what we saw in round number 2. They bought up 2 sheriffs and they tried to wallbang.
They're going to counter.
You know for a fact that Kawazine has got that old base. They heard it last round. He won't have just dropped that on the floor, and it was flawless, so he definitely still has it. And that means he's probably going to try a wallbang. So Magnum's going to be sat there waiting to follow the tracers in the other direction. It is one of the most annoying strategies. I will say you'll get the same sort of value out of a Guardian for that sort of thing, especially if you're counter spamming, because you can see where they're spamming from.
Well, someone has to pick up the slack on the wallbang if he's not going to be in the server.
Listen, I tried to convince Firoth for years to pick up that Odin, but he won't listen to the wallbang strats. Magnum, though, he's always been a little bit more inclined towards this Odin.
I'm waiting to see if Kawazin actually goes for that lineup, which it doesn't seem like he is. In fact, I think we're about to have a bloodbath within this B side, because there's already a multitude of players on the other side. I don't think they've spotted the player in the corner either, so it becomes very awkward for Hyper. In fact, he's left all on his lonesome, and now the wallbangs start to come through on the other side. Both players taking a reasonable amount of damage, but it's Kawazin that comes off slightly worse for wear.
That's very good for Kawazin, getting the first tag out already on the drone. He's going to keep them back a little bit longer as he makes his way through, and hasn't quite been able to see them outside, but job is done. They've stopped the B aggression. They've dealt with Hyper already, and very nicely as well. Having that player tucked in the corner, the 2 behind, the spam out of the Odin. It's a lot of pressure and a lot of details to keep track of while you're pushing on in there. Just overwhelmed Fnatic, and they're left back into a situation with a man disadvantage and no real map control.
Yeah.
So they're going to start pushing up mid to take it.
Close to taking damage. Just absolutely wrecked him through the corner of the wall. And they've still got these aggressive positions. Like Mystic hasn't actually got any control of this ace. Like, hot flash is being set up. They've got the information as well. Kawazin just spamming. There's only 30 seconds, and Fnatic is still just trying to break through this angle, and they've been caught.
Of course, it's Magnum finding that kill as well, with an Odin running in through a smoke on his short. That's all he'll get. In fact, that's all that Fnatic will get. Mystic's running for the hills, trying to get towards the attacker spawn so he can save his weapon. See John on his way down middle, just 10 seconds on the clock. But that's quite a long time when they're hunting you this aggressively. Ambitious play that ends up, working out. I guess DNJ's still alive.
It's just the confusion play. It's the confusion play. Like, you're never going to expect someone to actually do that. But the thing I really want to give credit to NIP for at the moment, at least, is the positions where they're gambling. A lot of their personnel have been correct. Like that early B presence, they almost expected there to be aggression on the other side, and because of that, they were able to basically shut down the initial play. And the problem for Fnatic, sure, you have 2 players who can basically call on the fly, but once you already lose basically your initial duelist, which we know already for Fnatic is someone that they desperately need, didn't seem to actually have a backup plan. They didn't have any map control.
You know, we can sit here and talk about Hyper as being an insanely strong duelist. Like I said, shortlist for pretty much every tier 1 team out there, but he's got to be able to put up the numbers. There's a great flash again from Shanchi, but he'll be traded out this time. One can quite res it back up, but they're not expecting BNJ to be here as well. And he's just getting away with murder. 2 quick kills on the backside, and a spray down for 4. 6-0 NIP. They're not even breaking a sweat.
No, that absolutely slammed as they attempt to try and break into that A site, and that's been the case for pretty much the whole of this game. The fact that Janji's only died once basically says that, considering he's got 12 kills and has been pressured the majority of the time, and finally they make it into the site, and you got BNJ there as well, just to do exactly the same thing. Like, sure, again, maybe some slightly weaker weaponry for Fnatic, but it's getting to the point where that's no longer an excuse.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by Shanchi's right click so far. Like, those underhand throws with the flashes have been catching them off again and again. This time they were able to trade out 1-1, but the dude still survives the round thanks to his ult being down and was stopping them from using their utility on the way through the entire time. Now, straight away, Fnatic are going to start out this round with a lockdown, but it looks like it's going to be a big old fake because they're rotating to the B side. In fact, the spike was already waiting outside of B.
Oh my god.
That is ridiculous for John to get 2 there, and now he knows he's caught them trying to run back. I mean, the players on A don't need to move, though, because they've got a comfortable advantage to play with at this point. Don't believe your hood. There's only 3 players left for Fnatic.
Nice shot from Hyper. Oh, he's going to catch the second as well. Janji down, and well, now they've at least got a little bit of hope back into this round. John's going to take the wide swing, and Hyper, well, he's just decimating at the moment. BNJ might be about to make the same mistake, but I guess they don't expect another player to push through that angle. BNJ will be able to clear at least this closer angle, but they've got to get rid of Hyper, who's looking to almost go for the ace at this point, but will fall back.
Reveal. They know both players are coming from the market of 4K for Hyper secured, and there's the ace. Well, we wanted this guy to turn up. We needed him to show something big, and ace will do it. That's just about enough, you know?
Yeah, no, well, like, it's always weird when something like that happens. Like, I want, for anybody who doesn't know too much about Hyper, currently on KOI, a player who's been playing in the under divisions of the VCT and EMEA, someone we've seen for a long time in different mixed teams, and someone with the nickname the Hibernator.
And you know what? I've heard so many horror stories of that organization. So let me just say, I spoke to Hyper, and he said that KOI were extremely cordial and made it so easy. He had a one-day turnaround to make this happen, to get over here, obviously with Durka going out at the last second, and they made it happen. So fair play to KOI for being a nice organization and letting their player come and shine on the international stage.
The first round Fnatic wins, the ace is on land. It's like,
looks pretty good for KOI, doesn't it? Yeah, you know, they're not really losing anything by giving
like,
this.
Double his contract, double his contract.
I mean, it would be ridiculous as well, because the thing is, you're giving a player LAN experience, you know, but some orgs, they don't care. Well, it's not they don't care, it's they're not very smart, but yeah, fair play to KOI. I mean, really nice in organizing that, and I think obviously for Firot as well with Alliance, we heard that things were very smooth on that end. So it's good to hear from Fnatic, but they've only got 1 round. Look, you know, they got their players here, but they still need to get a few more on the board.
It's the least sustainable round ever. A 3v5 ace from Hyper, like, don't get me wrong, NIP are very much firmly in the driver's seat, but it's just whether or not that actually, like, gets them. Like, if they're just going to come straight back and win themselves another round, it's almost irrelevant. And again, it's looking like we've got that fast-paced push coming through from Fnatic. They've waited the time. Hyper's found himself the kill. It's the right click, so his knives are gone. But he's been able to retrieve himself a weapon. The pop flash is solid out from Boaster. And finally, they managed to take over this A site.
They knew that BNJ was there. He had just, like, popped off 1 shot. They heard the sound cue. They react instantly. This is a much better round from Fnatic.
Iya,
ketahuan. Hyper.
It's shit, lol.
Hyper aggression as he goes straight into short. Now we saw that backfire, right? The B main round. He goes in, same pacing, same kind of round, but when he loses, when he dies, it just fell apart. I mean, it all came tumbling down from Fnatic. Boaster was going mid, and he died. And everything was staggered out. But when it works, this is what it looks like. A flawless round.
I think they've started using the paranoia as well, just to try and clear out their players' tree. Because they've been so aggressive around their smokes. Like, it's not one of those spots anymore where Fnatic can just go, we've got our smoke down, we'll just make our way through. No one's going to flash this one, Mitch, don't worry about that. We'll just walk through. No, they have to now actually counter that player. And, well, important that they've managed to, at least in this round, shut down Janji, I don't know if that's going to be something they can do consistently, because he's probably going to adapt.
So there's that, and then you also have to take into consideration that, you know, it's taken this long to have that counter over NIP. Now maybe they're going to run the same thing again and hope for the best, but I imagine they change it up, and now you're going to have another spanner in the works.
I think he also got tagged up by the Reaper as well. So I'm pretty sure he got hit by like 3 different pieces of utility, and that's what it's taken to get rid of Janji. So, it's something that might be a little bit more difficult, but I'm guessing this is a pause. Yeah, it says half time, but that is. Well, this is an odd score.
We've changed it. It's MR8 now, so it's much quicker games. That's for me and you. You know, our games always just take way too long.
I had a really long day yesterday.
Did you? Oh,
really
you poor
tough.
thing, Tom. You poor thing. Yeah. So look, NIP have called this timeout. They're taking a moment to step back and discuss the strategy coming into this one, because they got countered last round, but we've only seen the A plan, and it's gotten them 6 out of 8 rounds so far. That's pretty solid when one of the rounds they lost was a 5v3 ace. So go to the B plan now, sure. I think it'll be a small adjustment though, and looking to get Janji in front of people early again.
Yeah, given the opportunity to try and take space, or just reposition, like we've seen him even reposition around the switch as well, and have the same sort of hot flashes, which he wouldn't have been hit by the utility that was thrown just later. Also, I think because he was hit by the 0 point, he couldn't have flashed out. It was just a nice little set by him. But again, I feel like there's only so many times you're going to be able to do that, to isolate a specific player, and let's see what the plan is in this round. In fact, it looks like John might be up to a few more shenanigans. We've already seen his mid play in 1 round, and
he's gone for the light shields here as some fiscal constraints. That was a spam. They had no idea that he's there. They didn't see a barrel or anything. John was a little spooked for a second. But he's just going to go back and hold this angle, wait for someone on Fnatic to try to take space. I think they're going to throw him this out though at this point. They're going to be cautious and break that drawing.
That will at least grant them a little bit of mid control. And it doesn't mean there has to be a slight switch in position. Did he manage to actually tag the player?
Tarik mas.
I think it has though. I think it's forced out a couple of positions. Hyber, I think, will have a rough idea, but the pop flash has just kept him back that little bit longer, and in the meantime, the drone starting to come through on the other side.
Is Janji big brain? Is he huge? Did he just use the flash on mid, and then he's rotated instantly to short? I almost felt like that was a reaction play, like, oh, Janji's mid, we got short, go! He's not going to flash through the smoke, and then he's already here, back in that position that he's been in time and time again, but he's going to make that noise, he's going to try to keep them back. And actually, it's dragged some rotations over as well. You know, just a little bit of utility being used up here by Fnatic, and it's really selling it to NIP that they're defaulting back to the same old A play. 4 players on this A site, and 1 way outside in spawn with an Odin. Still dangerous though, and especially with the recon online, they need to destroy that right away. And they have done just that. What a spam!
Just guess.
Darts.
Actually, they've got the lockdown, but it won't actually cover the site. Because of that, some of the positions are still going to be hold. Hyber is at least slowing them down a little bit. The remaining 2 are stuck in the back of the site, but remember, there's still 1 man lurking in the dark. It may not matter, though. BMJ's just gone sprinting in. Now, they need to get rid of Fearoth, and they don't know. They don't know the boasters behind. He could just end this round in his own. The first goes his way, and now the panic sets in for BMJ. A solid flank to give them the round, and well, it's now 3 in a row for Fnatic.
Well, that's certainly the wind in their sails now. NIP have just called the timeout before as well. And then they come into this round. Fnatic have, I'm not going to say an easy time, but it can get a little bit concerning now if these rounds keep on swinging Fnatic's way. I think NIP are going to, I don't want to change it up a little bit after being faked out like that. They played a super passive round. They tried to react to what Fnatic were doing, but now they've realized that these guys are actually willing to fake them out. They're willing to play into those tendencies a little bit. So I want to see some early round aggression. I want to see some map control for the NIP side. And that's exactly what they've done. Look at John again inside of B main. This is the position that allowed them to have that heavy stack on A that Fnatic kept running into.
Yeah, especially with the fact that in the previous round, they basically thrown him out of his spot. So unless Fnatic are going to read things incredibly well, he'll likely be able to hold on to this at least a little bit more. And they've also gone back to the previous setup with the pop flash available from Switch. So this is basically meaning that Janji can't be isolated anywhere near as easily. And they've also got a main control with the push that's already come through from BMJ.
You know what's interesting? There's 2 players currently holding this entire map. between John and Mezzany, they have the entire map covered. The rest of the players are just kind of in position to react to whatever kind of control comes through. Obviously, you've also got BNJ peeking aggressively on A long to try and catch a pick. But they're not being given anything. And with 45 seconds left, again, we put the pressure onto Fnatic to make their way up to blitz on in. Hyper is going to be spotted and taken down. John is clean with 2 quick kills. NIP have got control over this round, and Fnatic have to blitz out into John.
Gila, John.
Delivering. Fearoth will try his best. 5 HP and ace needed, and it's not happening today.
Sinting lang. Tap, 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 tap.
Lord. Half of those shots as well, I felt like my brain couldn't even react to the fact that it hit the shot.
That was nice.
Just the shot number 2. Whereas like the first one, I was like, I don't even feel like he could correct it quick enough to hit that second shot.
Oh, here we go. Second time. Yeah, he's not even aiming at him as well. That bullet just went where he willed it. Unbelievable. And he almost got Fearoth as well. I saw that hit a strand of hair. 7-3 right now. With 2 rounds left to play out, Fnatic are going to start to get desperate. Boaster, okay. He bought with like 0.5 seconds left, Boaster. You give me a heart attack, man. Whew. All right, so they've got the full buy up. But it's going to take a lot more than just the weapons to win this round.
Yeah, tons of ults for this round. There's basically nothing online. Hunter's Fury, the only one that's even close, which, well, I don't really think we've seen many, if any, post-plant scenarios. Most of them have just been won by the time the spike actually goes down. So I don't know how useful that's necessarily going to be. Early utility already expended. I was actually just got straight through it. He just dashes into Shaggy's face and just takes him out before he can even react with the flash. Benzi's also just gone down to a nano swarm. It leaves BNJ as like the lone defender of this site, somehow dancing between the remaining players, keeping things close. Now John comes through, just tapping away at their heads. And this is starting to get dangerous for Fnatic.
I'm not even sure how BNJ is still alive. That Hunter's Fury's looking for John, and it almost catches his feet. He noticed at the last second. Oh, with that kill on the Boaster, the round is already done.
Udah mulai kena mental anjing.
8 for NIP. This was looking clean. In fact, BNJ was playing in the same position that he had been countless times before that Fnatic had seen him in, and they even went with 2 players to spam him down, and it wasn't enough. That smoke that he put into play saved his bacon.
Komentator Indo dah.
I can't believe he survived this entire round. Like, I genuinely can't believe it. Like, the fact that Hyper didn't get him initially, then you have him just dancing around the site. Like, this is a beautiful replay, by the way. Thank you very much for this. But just no one being able to...
Itu Benji kalau nggak sabar, beda cerita kayak Faiz, ya nggak sih?
Iya, itu Benji sabar banget. Dia survive, bener-bener survive.
Gila loh, dia masuk ke arah hell karena dia tahu dia low, dia sabar, dia nungguin rotasi pemain-pemain lainnya dari MIT, dan bahkan dia dapetin 2 pemain tersisa di area A-nya, dan itu bagus banget. Trigger disiplin dari seorang Benji di mana dia nggak mau terlalu nge-push dan dapetin poin ke-8 untuk NIP. Sementara kali ini dari Fnatic mungkin harus berhati-hati juga ya terhadap strategi yang udah mulai dirubah nih sama NIP. Udah nggak ada alarm buat di area mid, malah dari gardennya ya meskipun masih bisa ditembusin, tapi setidaknya itu nahan loh. Itu buang waktu banget sebenarnya untuk Fnatic sendiri karena posisi mereka sebenarnya udah ketahuan. Dan kali ini masuki round yang ke-12, dimana dari KHUSUS yang bakal coba untuk di-press habis-habisan di area B-nya, dan ini mungkin memaksa di mana ya, kalau namanya Odin ya, kalau reload kan memang lama kan, jadi mau dipaksa untuk habis dulu dari bulannya, tapi kali ini udah mulai ketahuan posisi dari seorang John, dan bahkan coba ditahan begitu saja, tapi ternyata Hyper berhasil ngedapetin 1 pemain VA pun masuk, tapi ternyata Sam melakukan trade dengan cukup cepat, tapi kali ini lihat masih ada flash drive dan dapetin 1 pemain sebelah kirinya bang, itu dong, nggak kedapetin 1 pemain, tapi malah dia ditumbangkan oleh seorang Mystic. Ada paranoia kali ini dari seorang Benji, dan bahkan dari base juga masih menahan, dan Benji berhasil untuk mendapatkan Mystic. Tentunya informasi sudah dapat terlebih dahulu, dan VA yang tersisa kali ini, lihat Reconnya connect kedua pemain, dan bahkan ada Softdat yang tidak connect, tapi kali ini VA yang tersisa dengan ada 1 OP di tangannya, dapetin 1 pemain tersisa itu Bestie. Lalu VA dengan 61 HP masih bisa ditumbangkan oleh seorang Benji, yang dimana itu memang kalau jaga di area B-side itu susah banget, terlalu banyak angle yang harus dicek ya. Entah dia bisa masuk dari area land atau mungkin dia masuk dari area spec.
Yap, memang ada 2 angle yang harus dijaga dengan sangat baik oleh seorang VA. Dia pun tadi Odinnya itu tinggal 10 bullet, habis dia nembakin Odinnya, dia ganti ke Vandal, Vandalnya 5 peluru. Dan tadi dia lihat ke arah lane, ternyata bisa diserang ke arah fair. Dan ya tadi setidaknya recon-nya itu udah dapet ke arah ke arah B-mid, dan udah ngetik dua pemain dari arah both house ataupun dari asing dari tempat, tapi nggak connect sama sekali tembakannya. Tentunya Fnatic harus memiliki plan lainnya, karena bukannya nggak bekerja sih, tapi lebih ke arah NIP yang holdingnya itu benar-benar kuat banget. Saat itu benar-benar jadi raja terakhir di arah Garden tuh. Garden itu udah menjadi teritori atau kerajaannya Sen. Itu benar-benar tempat tinggal dia tadi. Bahkan saat mereka tahu Sen digempur berkali-kali, dia diserang berkali-kali di arah short, mereka langsung ngasih resource di arah Garden yang tadinya mereka menaruh satu buah aura bot di arah mid. Mereka pindahin ke arah short, ke arah Garden dengan dua buah swarm yang tadi sempat nge-delay. Dan tadi juga kita lihat momen demi momen John, 4K, ya ini skill data yang sangat baik mungkin.
Iya, dan memang meskipun dari Sami yang berkali-kali kena timing ya ketika dia mau lepasin flash drive ya Hyper memang ya kita tahu lah main duelist harus pasti tabrak, kasih efek kejutan tentunya, dan berkali-kali memang bisa menumbangkan terkena timing gitu. Ketika dia mau flash ternyata sudah masuk dari seorang Hyper sendiri dan membuat dia tidak mau terpick off. Tapi ya, perubahan strategi ya, tentunya adaptasi yang dilakukan sama NIP setelah mereka kehilangan 3 poin berturut-turut dari Fnatic, ini yang membuat NIP mereka bisa bangkit lagi. Yang dimana awalnya mereka sempat ketahan sama slow pace yang dibawakan sama tim Fnatic, ini mereka udah mulai dapetin momentum mereka balik. Tapi ya, balik lagi, ketika mereka dari Fnatic coba untuk masuk ke area side, ini bisa banget bisa musuh bola. Entah itu mungkin dari Odin yang di tangan Fauzin, atau mungkin dari beberapa paranoia yang sempat dilontarkan juga, dan bahkan ada keberadaan Sam yang tiba-tiba udah ada di Bister. Ini yang membuat sebenarnya dari NIP pun agak struggle masuk Fnatic struggle masuk ke area side-nya. Dan penggunaan utility memang sangat maksimal sekali dari pemain NIP sendiri. Jadi ini tugasnya Fnatic nih, gimana caranya mereka nge-bait dulu utility yang dimiliki. Jangan sampai ke pick off, dan ya itu bukan tugas yang gampang sebenarnya, apalagi dengan dual initiator dan mirror pick nih dari kedua tim. Ini ada kemungkinan hal yang sama mungkin bisa terjadi di tangan NIP.
Karena memang Ascent juga merupakan map yang cukup sedikit defending ya, defender side map, dan NIP tadi yang mulai sebagai defender, Fnatic mulai sebagai attacker dalam 3 round ya nggak terlalu buruk sih sebenarnya. Tapi lagi-lagi ini Fnatic tentunya kita memiliki ekspektasi tersendiri kan. Fans lainnya juga memiliki ekspektasi bahwa Fnatic tidaknya ya jangan sampai 3 round juga lah dia attacker, mungkin 4 tapi ya ini juga bukan hanya Fnatic yang mungkin lebih tidak maksimal lah performanya, mungkin belum panas banget, tapi NIP yang benar-benar juga mainnya holdingnya benar-benar masuk. Dan lagi-lagi ini harus menangin duel sih. Lu lihat poster 210 mark 511 ini fragger-fraggernya belum nyala sih. Dan ya kali ini kita langsung masuk ke second half dari match yang pertama ini, game pertama, dan kali ini NIP yang harus menjadi attacker, tentunya Fnatic akan menjadi defender yang lebih kuat daripada NIP. Kita lihat ada Hyper yang bermain sangat agresif dengan serif yang nggak connect, terpaksa menggunakan tailwind yang mundur. Sementara itu ada tailwind bahkan dari seorang John yang bergegas ke arah switch, langsung menghidupkan untuk pintunya, tapi dia terbukakan namun tidak HP. Bahkan takedown yang pertama dapatkan
nanti lo streaming lagi dong,
masukin tapi lihat ada kill demi kill yang dapatkan. Bahkan yang ketiga oleh seorang Magnum, tapi ada refrag yang dilakukan oleh Benji, menyisakan KHUSUS seorang diri yang tiba-tiba jalan ke takedown. Dan 4 round akhirnya berhasil dikumpul oleh Nanti. Pistol round yang tadi cukup baik, holding yang sangat bagus.
Iya, dan memang rotasi yang cukup cepat juga ya dibawakan sama Fnatic. Ketika mereka udah dapat informasi ini dari John-nya udah mulai dash masuk ke area B-nya, di area house-nya itu mereka langsung melakukan rotasi dan cepat banget. Mereka tahu 2 pemain yang jaga di area B.
Nggak tahu. Ribet banget tuh orang anjing. Pengen ketemu. Pengen kesini. Gimana DM?
Dan kisaran yang dimenangkan oleh Fnatic yang ditemukan oleh mereka tentunya, karena harus sesuai SOP ya, ini Fnatic bisa dapetin poin di round yang ke-14. Kalau ini lihat dari ini awas ada yang sudah mulai mundur. bakal menahan kali ini. Coba untuk mencari informasi terlebih dahulu dengan Audroni ya. Satu pemain yang
Apa?
kelihatan dari isu.
Dikasih apa?
Tapi ini kelihatan ya.
Nggak tahu earbuds, nggak tahu apa, soalnya banyak barangnya anjing.
Fnatic juga memaksa Magnum untuk berada di area pinggir side-nya. Tapi kali ini Magnum bakal coba untuk nahan terlebih dahulu. Oke, ternyata ada satu spec.
Kemarin aja baru datang VSonic sama ini TV. Buat di review. Buat dia juga sih itu.
Tidak bisa masuk dengan cukup mudah karena mereka tidak mau kehilangan round yang harusnya mereka menangkan. Dan kali ini Boster dapetin satu pemain dan bahkan dari Mystic pun bisa untuk menangkan kali ini, memberikan mereka yang cukup baik untuk di area ini.
Kenapa?
Dan bahkan dari NIP ini sulit banget.
Iya. Monitor juga 27 VSonic. Kalau hari biasa kan takutnya ada koce, nggak enak kan.
Tadi kita lihat penggunaan hidupnya masuk banget. Ada satu dua fragment, seorang Mystic nge-backup, swing, flash drive ke connect. Ya ini sebenarnya udah menjadi besar bang. Nanti di second half kali ini, dengan mereka memiliki PR besar untuk keep up the momentum. Tapi kali ini NIP dengan playstyle eksplosif mereka akan langsung berkerumun di arah B-main dan tidak ada yang menjaga B-side-nya secara eksplisit, langsung ngedash ke arah switch.
Gila NIP anjing emang.
Malah dapetin 2 kill set.
Ini game apa anjing?
Untuk John, tapi Magnum masih bisa menjawab dengan 2 kill berkat Spectre-nya, tapi gak bisa dengan teman-teman yang udah mati di takedown. Misalkan saya seorang diri dengan buat sheriff tentunya akan menjadi tugas yang sangat berat untuk di-accomplish kali ini tentunya. Dia setidaknya bisa nge-pick up senjata yang ada di tanah dengan satu buah bulldog yang berhasil diamankan kali ini. Satu buah recon sudah ready untuk melakukan retake, tapi tampaknya ini akan menjadi satu buah pekerjaan yang sangat sulit berputar ke arah bandal dan tentunya akan mungkin ini akan dia pasti exit track karena memang B-side ini benar-benar gampang banget melakukan exit track yang dimana kalau misalnya lo mau keluar lu harus ngerilin ataupun dari stair, dan stair itu udah terjaga sama Pea dan lihat Pea akan berusaha untuk mendapatkan kill yang pertama dapat, tapi bukan yang untuk yang kedua karena
Si John sakit banget bangsat. M-nya.
Iya, itu opening point kalian bagus banget ya, di John dapetin 2 pemain. Meskipun ada trade yang cukup cepat ya tadi ya dari Desi sendiri, tapi lagi-lagi dari seorang Magnum ya, tapi lagi-lagi ini
Diras bangsat.
clear terlebih dahulu daerah city-nya, make sure ya supaya nggak ada yang bisa ngelakuin
Sinting ya NIP.
Pemain-pemain dari NIP, dari Fnatic itu selalu main rotasi cepat buat ngelakuin retake. Jadi mereka clear dulu city-nya dan langsung dapetin poin mereka setelah second half tentunya. Dan kali ini dari PSN yang coba untuk naruh turret terlebih dahulu mencari informasi, tapi belum ada yang kelihatan dari area shotnya. Bermain lebih aman dari mereka sendiri, nggak mau terlalu fokus juga karena kalau ngelihat dari Fnatic mereka mau bermain lebih aman. Posisi yang sekarang mereka butuh banget poin. Jadi mereka nggak boleh terlalu careless, tapi Hyper ngedapetin opening spec yang sangat baik. Ada flash sudah dibuka, Pea ngedapetin semua bahkan dengan backup yang baik dari Hyper ngedapetin 1 pemain, dan kali ini menyisakan 1 pemain yaitu Pea. Pea sudah ditumbangkan, tapi kita lihat kali ini mau nggak mau dari Mystic yang akan mencoba untuk nge-push karena informasi harusnya udah masuk ya, dimana ini tersisa Benji saja sendirian dan bahkan coba di-pick begitu saja tapi tidak bisa bertahan dan bahkan
Odin mulu bangsat NIP.
mendapatkan kill terakhir atas seorang Benji.
Ya Benji tadi lagi-lagi NIP ini benar-benar confident banget dia main Odin, tapi yang ini Hyper dengan early pick-nya setidaknya mendapatkan kill yang pertama, dan di sini pun seorang Pea nggak ditinggal begitu aja, harus duel di arah market, dimana Hyper pun setelah mendapatkan kill tadi di arah B-main dia langsung lihat ke arah market karena market memang menjadi target selanjutnya untuk NIP, dan 10-6 setidaknya nanti sudah bisa mendekati NIP terpaut angka dan lihat John dengan satu buah blade stormnya udah ngedash ke arah set paranoia pun dilemparkan, begitu juga dengan recon semuanya di expand di arah A side dan A side yang udah terbuka dengan sangat gampang. Spike plan pun sudah ready dan sudah ditanamkan spike-nya. Ada lockdown yang langsung digunakan, lockdown dibalas dengan lockdown di sini. Benji berusaha untuk mendapatkan Hiber dan Hiber pastinya langsung melakukan kebutuhan satu buah operator yang saat tadi sudah standby. Sementara itu dari belakang ada Sen dan bahkan seorang di situ langsung ditangkap. Besni lebih tepatnya terkena detain dan langsung ada Magnum yang standby, tapi dengan killnya dengan Sheriff didapatkan oleh seorang Counting dan Booster langsung mendapatkan kill, tapi round juga dimenangkan oleh Fnatic yang tadi mendapatkan diffuse saat semua chaos terjadi.
Iya, dimana Besni yang mau nggak mau ya dia udah nggak bisa kemana-mana. Dia udah kejebak di lockdown juga. Dan udah ketahuan posisinya dari seorang Mystic ya. Jadi mau nggak mau Mystic bisa mendapatkan kill ke arah seorang Besni yang dimana itu setelah udah tahu ini sisanya ada di area Emin ya. Tentunya mereka langsung melakukan diffuse terhadap spike-nya dan time out di call oleh Fnatic yang dimana ini udah mulai apa ya, bisa dibilang mungkin kedua tim udah mulai tukar-tukaran poin. Dan dimana NIP sebenarnya menurut aku mereka juga ngelakuin retake-nya bagus, ngelakuin plantingnya juga bagus menurut aku, tapi lagi-lagi ya adaptasi yang cepat nih harus dibawakan ketika mereka udah kalah mungkin 1-2 round. Mereka udah nggak bisa pakai strategi yang sama. Dan berkali-kali ini kelihatan banget playstyle yang berbeda dari kedua jet menurut aku. Karena John dia lebih benar-benar siap banget dengan cloud burst yang selalu dia pop up dan dia langsung masuk tailwind masuk ke dalam gitu. Jadi dia nggak benar-benar nggak nunggu teman-temannya. Memang meskipun ada support dari utility yang dilepaskan dari seorang ini ya Benji atau mungkin dari Sun sendiri ya. Ya itu yang benar-benar nyokong dia untuk masuk ke area saya dengan mudah. Jadi masuk ke area saya benar-benar gampang banget sebenarnya. Tapi mistake-nya ini juga banyak banget.
Ya tadi kita lihat juga musimnya sudah di-expand bahkan. Seorang Besni tadi di arah Hell nggak memiliki banyak choice karena memang pilihannya terbatas sih, karena dia kalau keluar pun dari tunggu dan pemain-pemain Fnatic tadi retake-nya. Ya ini plan dibalas retake yang dimana kedua tim melakukannya dengan cukup disiplin, tapi kali ini Fnatic yang sudah mulai membangun nih angin positif bagi mereka kali ini. Ada operator duel tampaknya di arah top mid yang dimana John juga memiliki operator ready, tapi Kiber tampaknya akan mulai slow pick di situ. Komen langsung dibuka, terkena suppress orang Hiber, langsung dapat kill yang pertama untuk John berkat operatornya, tapi langsung di refrag dengan sangat cepat untuk Hiber. Tapi lihat gempuran menuju ke arah A side yang dimana Sen sudah berada di arah generator. Para GOPAY sudah membuka pintu yang tadi ditutup dengan sangat rapat oleh pemain-pemain NIP. 4 melawan 4 masih merupakan situasi retake yang doable untuk Fnatic, dan lihat lagi-lagi Besni jadi orang terakhir yang akan mencoba untuk mencari informasi dan melakukan flank tanpa proteksi, tapi timingnya nggak dapat sama sekali. Mystic yang mendapatkan timing tersebut, bahkan Besni harus tumbang dan lagi-lagi kehilangan man advantage. Sementara itu Fnatic akan bergegas dan bersiap untuk melakukan retake. Bloodstorm dibuka, Hiber updraft gaming, tapi nggak sama sekali karena apa yang mendapatkan kill tersebut. Refrag yang lebih cepat, Hiber lagi-lagi dengan Bloodstormnya sangat amat manis, menyisakan seorang Benji yang ready bahkan double killnya connect, tapi Hiber! Oh no! Benji! Triple killnya connect dengan bullet terakhir mengenakan kepala dari seorang Hiber yang tadi berdansa di generator, dan itu adalah round yang secara ajaib dikantongi oleh NIP.
Gila loh, wow, padahal tadi memang ya timing banget sebenarnya dari base-nya. Kalau kita agak sedikit rollback ya, dia masuk ke area mid, dia nggak sempet dapetin Mystic yang nahan mid, tapi Benji lagi-lagi ini wow, selalu menjadi orang terakhir, last man standing-nya selalu mendapatkan poin tambahan untuk NIP. Oke, wow. Dan kali ini dari Sun udah mendapatkan informasi di mana dia udah melempar tadi 0 poinnya, tapi nggak mendapatkan main yang mulai masuk ke area aimnya, tapi ternyata Hiber nggak ngedapetin juga siapapun. Yang disitu informasi udah masuk ya, kelihatan beberapa pemain NIP yang sudah bersiap nih di area LOB-nya. Oke, Hiber terkena beberapa HP, namun masih bisa mundur dan balik ke area belakang, dan bahkan dari Sana yang bakal coba ngecek terlebih dahulu fragment yang sudah dilontarkan ke area wine-nya. Dan ada informasi sebenarnya sudah tidak ada siapa-siapa di area wine. Dan Fea yang bakal ngecek juga. Ini mereka make sure tidak ada yang ngeflank dari area mid tentunya. Dan harusnya dengan informasi yang udah didapetin, dua informasi dari Fnatic, ini harusnya cukup. Mereka tahu semuanya ngumpul di area lobby, tapi 44 detik tersisa. Masih waktu yang cukup banyak tentunya. Dan sudah ada smoke juga yang untuk di set up di area mid. Booster bakal coba untuk menahan terlebih dahulu, berpindah ke area e-shopnya. Dan oke, beberapa itu sudah yang dipegang dan kali ini bakal coba ditabrak begitu saja. Hyper bakal siap kali ini dengan satu buah frag, dapetin dua pemain. Oh, kena di tapi ternyata dari KHUSUS masih bisa untuk melakukan trade. Dan bahkan dengan flash yang baik kali ini. Fea ngedapetin dua pemain, ada trade tapi ternyata menyisakan Fea dan satu pemain yaitu Magnum yang mau tidak mau harus melakukan reflect terlebih dahulu, tapi ternyata sudah ada Hunter Fury yang dibuka oleh seorang Fea. Cicil ke arah satu
tipis, Cok.
pemain yaitu Bestie tapi tidak ter-take down. Hanya tercicil 45 HP saja yang tersisa. Dua pemain cukup low dari NIP dan kondisinya mereka udah tahu positioningnya kalian dari KHUSUS. Dapetin satu pemain, ada trade namun Bestie melakukan trade dengan cukup cepat lagi dan lagi. NIP match point. Wow.
NIP sudah mendapatkan match point dan Fnatic seakan-akan terdisorient. Benar-benar kalang kabut banget di sini. Setidaknya Fea udah bisa mendapatkan 2 kill. Sebenarnya ini 2 kill yang sangat manis. Sebenarnya dia bisa lebih sabar lagi setelah tadi mendapatkan kill. Tapi ya di sini lagi-lagi dengan motif samanya. Iya. Banget dari NIP. Mau time out. Pastinya time out tersebut akan menjadi bukuan lagi karena memang satu lagi mereka bisa menjadi tolong atau mencuri map dari Fnatic yang merupakan map juga, dan bahkan NIP tentunya akan bahagia atau ini bisa menjadi momentum sendiri bagi mereka karena memang kita sudah berbicara di pre-game bahwa Fnatic yang dilakukan meski mereka kehilangan Brave, kehilangan Ender dan aja mungkin Fnatic dengan experience yang mereka miliki karena memang mereka masih memiliki core dalam bentuk seorang booster, Magnum dan Mystic yang merupakan memang ya mungkin bukan superstar player sih, tapi lebih tepatnya inti ya dimana memang itu adalah tulang punggung dari Fnatic, tapi Fnatic seakan-akan kalang kabut. NIP dari tadi bermain eksplosif, mereka saat attacker tadi jarang gitu dalam tempo ataupun tempo lambat, mereka bener-bener high tempo banget dan masuk main langsung rasa juga rasanya dapet side-nya dan bahkan
wah nggak ada darkan sih.
Fnatic yang harus berjalan di atas mata pisau karena memang mereka akan kehilangan map karena mereka jika mereka kalah di round yang NIP sudah berusaha dan akan sangat siap untuk mendapatkan round kali ini yang akan terjadi pertama kali ini. Fea kita lihat membeli satu buah Ares yang akan menjadi pengganti untuk Odin yang terlalu kuat, tapi lihat pergerakan ke arah mid di sini atau market.
Berarti week break ini dong merecord di hari Rabu aja.
Pertama untuk Hyper mendapatkan base-nya melakukan agresif push tapi nggak nge-expect bahwa John sudah datang dari arah market. Sementara itu seorang Sen double kill dengan Spectre-nya udah nge-push ke arah City spawn. Booster harus mendatang double box tapi nggak dapat kill sama sekali. Misalkan Fea seorang diri dengan Ares yang udah di-upgrade ke arah Vandal, tapi lihat spike-nya berada di area dari Fea, dia akan dijaga sangat kuat, tapi lihat Sen menyiapkan flash drive yang terbutakan dan itu dia map pertama untuk NIP dengan sangat amat meyakinkan. Mereka berhasil membawa pulang.
GG.
Mana yang sebenarnya ini harus
sinting.
Watch some Valorant, watch some good matches. What breed?
orang California.
No, yeah, quite literally, my dog is making my...
Coba kita cari.
Lu bisa nggak sih pegang senjata? Gue nggak bisa ngeliat orang mati gue. Tembak! Gue nggak bisa ngeliat orang mati gue kayak gitu aja. Oh berarti dapat 2.
Tata 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 tata.